Do you believe that men and women are equal?
No, absolutely not.
Why do you believe that?
It's facts. Like you see the world now. Like that's how it is. They're never treated either. We have to work so much harder to be where a man is.
Let me say this.
Especially
I mean,
white men.
Men have had everything given to them. Even when we talk about white men, but even when we talk about intersectionality, like a black male still has the fact that they're a male to fall back on. All right, as a black female, let's not even add in a black female who may be queer. All right, when you add on layers of intersectionality, you're talking about like discrimination, layers of oppression, layers of discrimination. No, it's not equal. And the reason it's not equal is because as women, as black women, as women who identify as being black and queer, they have to pull themselves up from their bootstraps. So no, it's not equal.
Queer, just like black women in general, they have to prove themselves to be more.
Exactly. Yeah. And so no, it's not equal. Why? Because they're digging out the mud, creating pathways for themselves, creating ways to basically lead the path and be trailblazers for those that are coming behind them. So no, it's not equal. Society doesn't treat it as equal, and at the end of the day, it's not equal because black women are still prevailing. So no, it's not equal because look at what we have fucking done.
Today and say, it's always the broke men that have more opinions. It's always the broke man that's always butthurt and talk down on a woman that sets her standards high. The broke man cannot function right when a woman lays everything out on a table and knows her standards are high. Yes, of course he's gonna get butthurt. Yes, of course he's gonna talk because his pockets are not up there. He's broke. He's tight because he don't got the money to afford you.
Broke men will always be more dangerous than men with money. And here's why. I was watching this video on mate retention, and the man mentioned that men have two forms or ways that they try to retain their mate. They either provide enough benefit for them in order for the woman to not want to leave, or if they can provide no benefit, they make the risks and consequences of that woman leaving so great that the woman will be too scared or not want to leave out of the fear of risk and consequences of them leaving. This should just be self-explanatory because, again, he said this is where intimate partner violence comes into play, domestic violence, stalking, harassment, the whole 9 yards. And no, I'm not saying men who have money and resources don't do these things. I'm saying men know how they are when they're broke and they don't have money. Take it from me, ladies. You're better off getting a man who has the money and resources. You don't want to end up like the girl who got her jaw broke by her brokey and she couldn't even afford to.
As somebody who's been with many broke guys before, I feel like this is a topic I can actually speak on without being biased. Men get on social media and often complain about women not sticking by their side if they do not have money, women only using them for money, women only this and that. But do men realize what they're like when they do not have money? And this is a serious, genuine question because we've all been in a point in our life where we don't have money and it's not easy. And I'm not trying to bash anybody at all. But what I'm saying is when I've dated men who do not have money, they are the most miserable, unfulfilled, unsatisfied men to be around. And I get it. Like, not having money is stressful. But when men don't have money, they don't know what, who, or how to act for you in a relationship. Men associate their worth to money in relationships. So when they don't have that, they are not pleasant partners to be around. They don't ever plan dates on a budget. They're miserable all the time. And they're constantly thinking about how to make 10K in 1 week. I personally feel like this is a perspective worth talking about because we always talk about it from a materialistic standpoint. Whilst there are women who hold down men in relationships, but I don't think many men realize how they come across when they don't have money.
I have to be honest with you. I love men, but I haven't met one of them who doesn't have this one flaw. It's called the lazy bone. One of my biggest frustrations with men is that it feels like they can be so lazy. Thankfully, with beauty, charm, and feminine energy, most women can get a man who loves them to do exactly what they want. And so it starts with you. Let's say there's something you've been asking your guy to do, and he just will not do it. He says, oh, I'm gonna do it later. For example, I needed my license plate changed on my car. I asked my ex. He says, oh yeah, we'll get around to it. In that moment, I knew. So I remember one day, we were having a great time together. And then I said, okay, I have to go now. And he says, what? And I said, yeah, I have to go. my friend Justin's gonna put the license plates on my car. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. And I said, oh really? I mentioned it multiple times and I just thought maybe you weren't interested anymore. And he proceeds to do it immediately. One of the best ways to break his lazy bone is to remind him that you are surrounded with men who would love to do things for you. Good luck.
Men that are like saying that women should subvert gender roles with them by paying for their dinner or asking them out or splitting the bill. I want to know how they're subverting gender roles in their own life. Are you coming together with your brothers and trying to dismantle or overthrow the patriarchy, using your privilege to create more equitable systems for people? Or are you just expecting women to take on even more responsibility than they already are? It's a patriarchy, but women still have to work. If a man can show me evidence of the ways in which he tries to dismantle the patriarchy or he tries to subvert his gender norms, and how he's taking on more responsibility the way that women are taking on more responsibility by still having to uphold domestic duties, still having their value determined by their physical appearance and their desirability, and also having to work for less money than men do. When a man has demonstrated that, then I'll pay for his dinner.
So I posted a couple videos recently talking about modern women and what their standards are and what modern women are looking for. And I've gotten a lot of comments from men saying that they are not looking for a modern woman. They want a traditional woman and that there aren't enough of them out there. So that had me thinking, like, well, what is the difference between a modern woman and a traditional woman? I wrote some notes here to distinguish the difference. A modern woman is someone who's independent. She has a full-time career. She prioritizes career and education over family and children. She is strong and wants to be taken seriously. And you'll probably hear her say things like, I don't need no man to support me and never depend on a man. A traditional woman is someone who focuses on family and children. She cooks and she cleans. She knows how to take care of her man mentally, emotionally, and physically. She's graceful and nurturing and, I'm gonna say it, submissive. So, for all the modern women out there, I hear all the time that they want a traditional man, but it's sounding to me like traditional men don't actually want modern women. And I can't tell you how many times I hear women say they don't cook, they don't clean, but yet they want a man to pay all their bills. So I'm just curious, women, do you consider yourself modern or traditional? And what kind of man are you actually looking for? And for men, what are the qualities that you're looking for in a woman if it's not a modern woman?
Can we stop overvaluing marriage and kids as a starter pack? Oh, so like marriage and kids, like that's a starter pack to you. That's just not nice. Joyful marriages and children. We live in a society that wants you single, fat, broke, and childless, and you're adding to that with your $49.99 donation of apathy. Ask these women where they see themselves in 5 years professionally and personally. For myself, hopefully I will have 2 biological children, 1 adopted child, and I'll be raising them, which is just as valuable as if I got a PhD or if I was making 6 figures. It matters just as much, and for me personally, it matters more. So how dare you degrade married women who want to reproduce and do a good thing for society? Like, you're a problem. And the fertility stats show that you're a problem as well, because 50.1% of women in the UK are childless by age 30. This is unprecedented, and most women want to have kids. So thank you for the $49.99 of coping.